Hi, I am Carol Kirby, and I'm very happy to have this particular guest with me today. His name is Rick Hunt. Rick, thank you for being here.
Thanks for asking me.
Rick is the owner of Hunt Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, Dodge, Chrysler.
Everything except Lincoln.
Okay, scratch the Lincoln.
Scratch the Lincoln.
Okay. Anyway, Rick has been a longtime friend of our family's. Been here in Franklin his whole life that I know of. No, almost.
Came when I was 4 years old.
Okay, minus those first 4 years. Anyway, Rick is enjoying and celebrating 50 years of business here at Hunt Ford in Franklin, and he's got some great stories to tell, and I'm really and truly happy to have you here. It's only been about 4 years that I've been trying to get you on here.
I know.
So thank you, thank you. And I must also say that there is no telling what he might say, so I am prepared. I just want everybody to know that. So thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
And tell us a little bit about the 50-year celebration and how that has, what that's meant to you and really about your dad and how he started it.
Well, we had Ford came down and gave me a plaque and a pen and spent the day, and then we had a open house for 2 days, and we gave away $50 on the hour, and we had about 400 people on Friday.
Wow.
We had a good turnout, and the
Great.
weather was awful. But it was just always sort of my goal to for us to be a Ford dealer for 50 years. Out of 4,100 Ford dealers, we're one of the 200 oldest in the country. And everybody's always been nice to us in Franklin. We got good customers and good employees, and we were able to make it.
Well, that really makes a difference, and in this day and age, so many dealerships are turning. I mean, you hear about it in the news and see it, town to town. It used to have another name, and now it's something else. So the fact that one has been around for 50 years really is an accomplishment. So it's something that Ford did come down.
Yep.
And you were mentioning all the employees. You've got a good base of people that have been there a long time. Bobby Joe Moody and Leon Cochran and Ruth Kapoor and Timmy and Kevin, and you've just got
They've all been there a long time.
a whole slew of them. And I should not forget, you've got some family there with you. John.
John and Richard's the computer man, and Ann Leslie works in the office, and Ben is sort of helps with parts and clean up cars. So we got them all in there.
Well, that's great. Truly a family affair.
Right.
Well, that is great. Well, tell us a little bit about what Ford was like when your dad started it and how he got the operation going and how you sort of worked into it.
Well, my dad was running a service station in Louisville, and it was in the winter of 51 was a bad winter everywhere, and they had a big snowstorm, and he got up and left the house about 3 o'clock in the morning and jacked up cars on the side of the street all day long and put chains on them for $1 a car. And he got home about 10 o'clock that night, and somewhere along the way he had lost his overshoes. Didn't realize it, and his feet were wet. And he told my mom, he says, "I'm getting too old for this. We're going to do something else." So one of his customers worked for Ford Motor Company in the Louisville office, and he told this fellow that he might be interested in a Ford dealership. And he said, "Well, there's 2 for sale right now. There's one in Mumfordville and one in Franklin." Well, my dad looked at the one in Mumfordville and then came to Franklin and bought out Jenkins and Wynn. And
So that's how it started.
yeah, 1952.
Well,
And then we lived up the street on Main Street, and the school I was going to was right across the street from the garage. So my dad and I would walk to work almost every morning, and I'd hang around the garage, and then when I got out of school, I'd go over to the garage. Well, I was in like the 3rd grade, and all I was doing was hanging around the garage, and my dad was raised on the farm, and he said I need to be working. So he called Mrs. Travelstead, Mary Lee Travelstead, across the street. She traded there, and asked if she had some jobs I could do after school. She said yes, and he can take out the trash and rake leaves and do this. So I was doing that, and I didn't like it. I would be raking leaves in the schoolyard and look across the street, and there was all these cars going around in the garage and stuff. So I told him one day, I said, can't you find something for me to do over here? And he said, yeah. So my first job, he went and outlined, he had all the service tools on the boards, and he outlined all of them. And he said, you come over here after school, and if you see an outline with no tool, you go find it. So that's what I did. I just started doing that. And then I'd watch mechanics and help clean up, and I just liked it. I just liked cars all the time.
So that's where it started.
That's where it started.
Well, and the fact that you have watched and learned and know how to work on cars and all of that brings a whole nother aspect to you and what you like to do, and those are your cars that you have.
Yeah.
And trucks, and my favorite, of course, is the truck.
Yeah.
You'll have to tell that story.
Well, when I was in high school, I worked as a mechanic there at the garage, and I learned how to work on cars. I couldn't work on them now because you got to be trained every month on something new. But they were simple. So now when I go home at night, I've got a shop at home and a garage, and I buy old cars and fix them up, and I enjoy doing that, working with my hands, and get a lot of pleasure in my truck. Everybody knows that the truck was one my dad sold new to Bluford Dobbs, and when he died, your dad had the auction. And I told you, Dad, I said, I want that truck, but I won't be here. And I said, he said, how much? And I said, just buy it. So he bought it and didn't have to pay too much. But what was funny was my dad sold it new for $1,325. And then 40 years later, I paid $2,200, and couldn't even drive it home. Then we fixed it up at the garage, and we've taken it everywhere. It's been the Pigeon Forge and Cincinnati, Louisville, and it's been on display at the Henry Ford Museum in Detroit.
Well, is it still there now, or
No,
is it back?
I can't tell where it is.
Oh.
Somebody might try to steal it.
Aha. But it is no longer in Detroit.
No. We had them all in the showroom for our anniversary.
For the anniversary, right. Well, that's really something that they came and wanted that truck, but that's a great story. And then you've got a 49 Lincoln?
47 Lincoln.
Lincoln, okay.
And the 57 Thunderbird. And then I've got a Galaxy.
I wish that we had photographs or a camera to go through and look at these cars. They are really something. And the fact that you've done so much of it yourself, as you say, that's sort of your hobby and gets you relaxed a little bit.
Better than watching TV.
Exactly. Not better than fishing, though, maybe.
No.
Rick's got a boat, and he does some fishing on the weekends, so that's his other pastime.
Yep.
Well, Rick, we really thank you for being here and sharing a little bit about Hunt Ford, how it started, your dad, your family, and
My mom worked there as a bookkeeper, and she had just as much to do with it as my dad because she watched the nickels, period.
Aha.
Yeah.
And she's in Florida right
She's in
now with
Florida.
your sister Leslie.
Right.
And they stay down there where it's a lot warmer.
Right.
And not as hands-on with the business anymore, but certainly put their time in, or your
Right.
mom did for
Yep.
sure. And Ann, couldn't do without Ann.
Nope.
Back there spurring you on and putting up with you.
Keeping me straight.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Which we all know that is not easy at all.
I'm not that bad guy.
No, you're not a bad guy. We just don't know what to expect.
Okay.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
You've done you've done a nice job. I mean, with the business and everything, but even today, sitting here,
Ann told me to behave today.
she did. She was cracking that whip behind you anyway, wasn't she?
Right.
Well, thank you. The balloon man out front, Dan wants to know about.
His name is Kevin. He resembles Kevin, the service advisor, and we ordered him through a magazine. And some days when it's too windy or something, we take him inside, and people will call and say, "Where's the man?"
A shameless plug, so that's been good, and he's got a namesake
Right.
after Kevin.
Right.
Well, great. Rick, I really do appreciate it. Thank you for being here and telling everybody some stories, and I'm proud of you, honestly.
I'm proud of you too.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.